Yes.
Michael's health check. We checked. He's doing pretty fucking awesome, really.
I'm all right.
He's all right. He's all right. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for either watching this live or rewatching this at a later point. We're a little bit more crowded than we usually are because we're not just doing Michael's health check. We're doing some other stuff later. So first, let's say hi to everybody. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Maybe, Mike, what do you think? Should our other guests introduce themselves, or do you want to do it for
Sure.
them?
Let's do it. How about we start on the top right?
Oh, that's me. Shaun from Nerdsense. Mike's lesser half. Yes.
Mike's significant other. And honestly, that's fucking true, I think.
Yeah, not many people would argue that point.
But it's adorable.
It's
Kyle,
adorable.
No Hype Beer Reviews. Thank you for having me. And yeah, looking forward to it.
You know I'll always have you.
Okay.
Especially with that rugged beard. I mean, come on.
I was going to say, his beard's looking very distinguished.
I know, right? And you know what the worst thing is?
That's a nice way of saying I need to dye it again because there's a lot of white coming through.
He actually said he wants to trim it tomorrow. Come on.
I am trimming it tomorrow.
No.
I don't want to. I am.
Because
Because I want to. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's all. Oh, well, you know, this is probably the most precise point of all of the live streams we've ever done in the past, present, and future.
Wow.
Well, some of us are more successful than others at it. As I sip some.
Do
water.
they drink at AA meetings? I
don't
figured,
know.
like I don't get to have beers with Thomas that often, so I'm gonna have a beer.
You're right, man. You're fucking right. I'm always.
The last time I was drinking tea.
Were you? Oh God, you were.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. When I
remember.
joined with you and Keith.
Yeah, I gotta go drive some errands and stuff. So I was like, nah, just water for me for now. But later I will be drinking some beers.
Says the bullshit bitch who's on Bourbon County right now. I mean, oh God. So we got some people chiming in. We got Cornet chiming in. We've got Sam all the way from Down Under. We've got Martijn saying "ma," and we got Gina saying hello. So we're doing our Mike's mental and physical health check first, and then we're going to dive into the Book of Boba Fett in a little bit.
I wore my shirt.
Oh fuck, that's brilliant! I love that shirt.
We have very different opinions on what is and isn't brilliant. I'm just putting that right out there.
You don't like my shirt?
It's
It
just
doesn't
not
like-
brilliant. It's just a shirt. It just is.
Should we just drop Mike and just
I'm
go
done.
straight to Boba Fett?
Yeah, I'm over this already.
Yeah, like I'm done.
It's not brilliant as in of natural intelligence. It's brilliant more of, and nothing against you, Thomas,
Yeah,
when you're not from England, but it's more like the English, like, brilliant, you know.
That's
like,
brilliant, Mike. Yeah, right.
It's good.
Fuck it
I
up.
don't know
There
what
you
that
go.
means. Explain how my definition of brilliant is wrong.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, your definition is wrong. Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It is by
Words can mean
definition
more
the
than
wrong
one thing.
definition. There you go. Yeah.
Context
So,
clues. Thomas did
That-
not
no,
think
that-
that
that is a
shirt
really cool shirt, though.
held
When you
natural
get that one-
intelligence, like it was going to solve the climate issue or something. Like there was no.
I don't. By the way, very quickly, I don't remember Bourbon County ever being this loaded with umami. I like it. Mike, let's get this out of the way first because you had an exciting week.
It was a week. Well,
Oh,
for sure.
fucking hell, this guy, to talk to this guy is sometimes just...
Mike started a new
Yeah.
job on Monday.
Mike started it. Yeah. Like, exactly, Kyle. Let's pull it out of him. Let's just make an effort.
Well,
Mike,
it's
how
just-
was your week?
It wasn't exciting. It was sort of it was weird. Exciting wouldn't be the way I would describe it.
Mhm.
It was entirely different experience that I've had at a workplace in a long time. Hey puppy. But it was slow. Like
Mhm.
I did a lot of like watching of other, like very voyeuristic of machine operations, but also the place is going from like R&D to production. So it's not really a full-fledged production place yet. So it's not like there's a whole lot to watch.
Mhm.
So I did some training, I did some online type stuff, and I watched some machine stuff. I did a little bit of operating, but it wasn't like anything like what I probably would have expected. I think I thought I'd be kind of thrown right into the right to the wolves and be doing production, but it's just not production ready yet. Not in a realistic sense, anyway.
Well, when it comes to what you like said, the voyeuristic part of it, like when you start working at a new company, you really feel sort of like a peeping Tom looking behind the curtains, like what the hell is going on here? You feel like out of place a little bit, and I shouldn't be doing this, but I want to do this, and it's okay that I do this. Wait, that's a wrong analogy because when you're a peeping Tom, it's never okay to do that. But in any case, depending on what your setup is with other people, but we're going to get into that in a different live stream. It's a new experience. I mean, you worked at the previous company for how long?
9 years.
9 years. And before that, you had a job for?
6 years.
So there you go. That's like not a lot of momentum. And that's not a negativism, by the way. I mean, I did the same job for like 19 years before the one I'm doing right now. But that's like not a lot of momentum when it comes to your workplace environment. So you're suddenly, by your own choice, of course, but you're sort of thrown in this whole new day-to-day way of doing things.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shock.
Yeah, but what was actually sort of a shock for me was actually not that job. It was someone from my old job called me 3 different times since I left, just being like, what the fuck, man? Things suck since you left. Yeah. Like, for real.
Talk about
one guy called me 3 times and 2 people texted me.
So basically, you were the only positive thing at your old job.
No, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that's overblown. I just don't think. I think people adapt slowly to change. That's all.
Good point.
I think things will be fine. I just think that when I was supervisor, I was pretty like laissez-faire. I kind of let shit kind of slide a lot. I wasn't a very aggressive type of guy. As long as work was getting done, I didn't get in anyone's case. I was more concerned about if work was getting done, I didn't interfere in the process at all. Unless people were like, getting bullied and because as supervisor you deal with that type of shit. But if things were getting done, I didn't get it. I just didn't get in the way or try to. I didn't try to exert any type of will. I just let people do things until they were wrong, and then I would step in. As long as things were going right, I didn't come. And the new guy has his own way of doing things, and it's not that way. It's not a wrong way. It's just different. And I think people are just used to my way of things.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they were used to, and I mean that always is a big part of change when it comes to work. A good new job would always be open to your interpretation of doing things as well. They would also have to be open to saying like, "Hey, man, we've been doing things for a while," or in your case, not that long, but we're accustomed to doing things a certain way, and we can learn from other people as well. If you come in and they're like, "This is how we do it. This is how you're going to do it. Shut the fuck up." It kind of says a thing about where you're going to work.
Yeah, I don't think that that's necessarily what happened here. I just think that, there's certain people that are sort of more difficult to deal with, as it is, and I worked with these people for almost a decade, so I got used to it. And it's like, all right, well, he's complaining. I'm sure that matters. It doesn't. Just ignore and just.
I see, by the way, some head nods and stuff from Shaun, Kyle. Please do. I mean, I know that Mike and I do this often, but it's not just our thing. You guys are as much involved. If you want to chime in, if you want to point things out, do, right? I mean, this is a collaboration effort.
Yeah. I just feel like the new guy just doesn't know who to ignore. And I don't mean that like a bad way. It's just some people are just complainers, and they'll find anything to complain about. And there's certain people that if they had a problem, because they weren't complainers, every time they came up to me with something, it was just like, oh shit, what happened this time? Because if their problems are always real problems, you take them seriously. And when people are just like, well, I don't know why I have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, okay, well, you just start to phase that noise out. And this guy's at the point where he listens to everyone because he doesn't know who has the bullshit yet. And there's a lot of annoyance with that right now, I think. Just like, well, fuck, does he know that guy's an asshole? Why the fuck does he listen to that guy? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I went to Shaun's. Was it yesterday, Shaun? Was it at your house?
Friday.
So yeah, 2 days ago. Yeah. Oh shit.
Am I the only one? Am I the only one intrigued? Unless there was like a lag on the line or whatever, that Kyle had the answer before Shaun did.
I just know those guys' schedules. You know.
Wow, that's like there's definitely no level of creepiness about him knowing more about the private lives of Mike and Shaun. And no, absolutely fucking.
They get together Fridays typically to record. Today's Sunday. I did the quick math and.
Quick math. Pop, pop, pop.
But on my way to Shaun's, like, as I was getting off the highway, I got a call from that guy, and I sat up in front of Shaun's house for a half hour talking to him about things he was having problems. I was still being supervisor. Like, yeah, well, listen, why don't you try that? Why don't you try this? Why don't you do this? You know, ignore him. He's just being
You're his go-to guy.
Yeah, it is weird though that I was supervising a shop and I was the youngest person in it.
There you go. But that doesn't necessarily.
No, but it is weird that this guy's like a few years older than me, and he's like, you know. But it's fun.
So,
he's a good guy. I like him.
Let's get to the point where we often talk about the negative things first, because we like to get those out of the way. How has the last week getting into a new job, has it in any kind of way, and if they are negative, let's focus on the negative things first, affected your dietary regime, your training, your exercising? Has it?
Yeah, it's been. I've had fast food a few times. I hadn't really had it too much lately. I had fast food, I think, 2 or 3 times this week. I had Wendy's. I had Wendy's twice, and I had Taco Bell once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Are you okay with this at the moment?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not like my favorite thing, and every time I have it, I wonder what the fuck I'm doing because it doesn't taste that good, and like it's getting more expensive. Like I go to a half decent place and get a better meal for cheaper money than some fast food places now. Like,
right,
there's a place right down the street from me, and I can get like a really, really good fucking burger, a really good one, like a nice thick patty. It's a really good burger, and a big plate of fries for $12. And I got something from Wendy's the other day. It was $13. I was like, what?
Wendy's.
The fuck?
Wendy's sounds like way back burgers.
Way back's better than Wendy's, but it's
maybe over there, not over here.
No more dollar.
I'm still fucking angry.
Yeah. No, it's just it's just
Hey,
not
You do.
Oh wow, nice. I'm pretty sure that's not H2O though. To be fair.
Probably not.
It's H2O and some salt.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think it's just Dasani that puts salt in theirs, right?
Oh, I have no idea. I know Aquafina is Coca-Cola and I think Dasani's Pepsi, maybe, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But regardless, I had a couple days of fast food, but those days I did well on my other 2 meals. Like only a couple hundred calories a piece. But just it gets to where like I'm driving and I'm and I just pull out the highway, get something, and I keep on going home. Is what it is.
Well, if there's one positive thing that you can say about this, I mean, you're starting a new job. New jobs is usually stress. Stress usually means that you're fucking over exercising your body, not because of physicality, but you're so stressed that has an effect on your body, and stress often means losing weight. So if there's one positive thing about stress, it's you lose weight. So
maybe not for me. I usually put on weight.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to find
eating is a thing, or like,
Really,
I think for some people, I think stress can go either way. Actually,
it depends on how you handle it or what your way is of coping. Yes.
Yeah.
We should probably. Sorry, what were you saying, Kyle?
I gain weight when I'm stressed. I eat more. I drink more.
Yeah, I think I eat more too. More snacking.
No.
But usually when you're stressed, you're overexerting your metabolism because you sleep less. You put stress on your body, and when your body is in stress routine, it burns calories.
Yeah, you
And depending
end
on
up,
what you
end up running warmer, and you end up with a higher heart rate as well. So
exactly, so that's what stressed me, and so you're burning calories a little bit more if you're partaking more fuel. But that's the thing though. If you're a stress eater, when I am stressed, I usually am not very hungry. But other people get stressy eaters, so yeah, it depends on what's going on. So how has your exercising been? I mean, I kind of know the answer a little bit, but
Oh, I've been good. I've been good all week. I've been a little lower, not because of any desire. It's just I hurt my leg early or my knee, my right knee, earlier in the week. So I've been so instead of doing twice a day, I've been going to do once a day. And for the first 2 days after, I spaced out the exercise by a huge margin to make sure I wasn't doing it hurting it. But it was weird as I was going. It was almost like my knee kept popping, but only if I extended it all the way. So then I brought my bike in a little closer, my pedals in, so my legs didn't extend all the way. I was almost like doing like 80% extension or 85, like I was going pretty good, but not all the way out, and that made it better. And then the last 2 days, well, yesterday was just I just did it once because it was sort of the end of my sort of like rehab of my leg. Today I'll do twice, and tomorrow I'll do twice and stuff like that. But I did as Shaun is want to comment or text me like I've maxed out my goals every single day.
Awesome, because that's something we talked. Yeah, sorry.
So and I increased my goals, not much. I increased to another 100 calories.
No, but I was about to ask that because that's what we talked about last time. You were doing so well with hitting your goals, and I didn't mention it that back then, but I got slightly not angry, but a little bit aggravated with you, where you're like, my goals are so low. I figured your goals were pretty fucking good because you actually started them at a reasonable level and you kept hitting them. And it's better to just be reasonable and maintain that than just reach too high. And
yeah, but the goals, like it wasn't like necessarily like these are my goals. That's just what I set my watch to. Like when I first bought it, it wasn't like I decided.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, but I didn't increase my exercise goal because the way exercise works is just in time. Like you exercise for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 20, whatever. That's all just, it's calculated by time. I don't plan on setting myself to exercise more than 30 minutes per day. Even if I do more, that's fine. My goal would be to be able to get 30 minutes in. And I think really for most of my life, I think that's completely fair. My stand goal is 12 hours a day. I don't plan on trying to stand more than 12 hours a day. I think that's a reasonable expectation. But really, the move goal was at 500 calories. I think that might be the minimum you could set when you first get your watch.
Yeah, that's what mine is. Yeah, that's the default. That's what mine is too. I just never
yours is 590. I saw
really?
It. Yep.
Oh.
So
Kyle, who's the married couple here?
And
like what the fuck? What the fuck? I wouldn't know. Like
he's right. It is.
What the fuck?
590. I didn't know that.
Holy shit! They know each other's watch settings, people. I just want you guys to know if there were ever this is JD and Turk situation going on here, right?
Right, but also
I miss
Shaun and I and Carrie, we share our exercise goals.
No, so I can see. I'm just messing with you. I'm sorry.
But I set mine. I saw Carrie set hers at 600 and Shaun's at 590. I was like, oh, I'll set mine to. I should have did 595 to make it really funny, but I set it to 600 just because that was roughly their goals. I was like, I'll start with that.
You should have said at 591. It's like that bastard at the eBay biddings. Like you bid something and he goes $1 above it, and you bid like 100 over it, and he goes $1 over it. And you're like, what the fuck? Sorry,
but that's all right. No, but I just agreed to 600. It's not a huge thing, but my whole thing really, it's not about the move goal. That's okay. If I meet my exercise goals, I'm happy just to get 30 minutes in. I usually do more. Again, I usually do more, but I'm happy to get 30. I was
about to say, because I've seen you for the last week. You've been doing very much over 30, I believe.
Yeah, I did until like Wednesday. Or Tuesday, whenever I heard.
Okay, sure,
but the thing is, I'm happy to get 30. If I can get more, then that's great. But like not every day is that not every day is that it can be a reasonable request because of just the way life happens. If I don't get 30 in, I don't like it. I feel guilty. I feel like shit. And I've been lucky, or not that lucky, whatever, but I've been able. You can see right now from January 1st to February 20th, I've met every one of the goals except for the first. January 1st, I was. But I've met all the goals every single day.
Really,
So I've
man?
done. Okay. So I've gotten at least 30 minutes of exercise and 12 hours standing, allegedly. That watch does not calculate that correctly.
I'm honestly fucking impressed with you. That's really good work.
So
that's really great work.
So I did mine.
Clayton commented that he had his first non-alcoholic beer. I don't know this beer specifically. Decent drink, but man, when you had a beer, it's not the answer. But I've only had so there's definitely I've had several plenty of non-alcoholic or very low. There's this Dutch law where you have non-alcoholic, or they have to call it 0.5% thing. Yeah, none of you
most
guys have
non-alcoholic
anything
beers
similar.
here are either 0.5% or lower. Yeah, usually.
Yeah,
But the non-alcoholic beer game has stepped up big time.
Yeah, but for people who want to watch their calories, 0.5% ABV is basically not a problem. It's the same thing. If you want to talk about not wanting alcohol, period, yeah, you got to watch the 0.5%, but because technically it has a little bit of alcohol. But sure, but there's plenty of great answers, and you should really, Clayton, I assume you're from the States, so really talk to these three guys for some good stateside options on non-alcoholic, because they probably will know a few good ones. And if you watch Matt from Massive Beer Reviews, he just did 6 weeks or so?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
One of the big ones is Two Roots, and Matt did a couple of theirs, and that's how I found out about him.
Yeah.
Really.
That Hellas is really good from Two Roots.
And I love this comment coming from a guy that lost 100 plus pounds awesome. Twice. Eating healthy is 70% of the battle for me and might be the harder part. It really is, because sugars, fats, they all give you so much instant gratification and
joy.
And
French fries are joyful.
Exactly, it's fucking that. And I get it, but there are ways to pimp up your food with great flavors and really but not add any calories, like awesome spices. Use a lot of fresh ginger, garlic. Use things like scallions for flavor, hot sauces, because there's hot sauces out there that are basically just ground chilies with a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of garlic. They're basically calorie-free, between brackets. They can spice up your meal so much, but you can just eat vegetables and low protein, if that's your thing, or low carb, if that's your thing, or low fat, if that's your thing, because there's so many diets out there. I've lost.
Do this one.
Wait. I'm going to put you in solo for a second.
Do this one.
Yeah.
This stuff's
awesome. You showed me that one. Yeah, you showed me that one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. According to you, I haven't tried it, of course. Just as a small example, my sister and I, I've actually been gaining a little bit of weight, but I need to, not massive, I need to drop a few kilos. But my sister and I both really used different methods to lose a lot of weight. And she was basically all non-carb. I was basically dropping as much as fats as I could. And we both lost a lot of weight. It depends on what do you do on a day-to-day basis? What does your body require? Everybody's different. And find out what works for you. And if it's non-carb, go non-carb. If it's non-fat, go non-fat. If you need to drop dairy, drop dairy. Do whatever you need to do. But there are different kind of ways. But whatever it is, eating healthy for your body and your way of living will do so much, including exercising. It's the right balance between both. And if you have a job that means that you're physically very fucking active, maybe you don't have to go to the gym. Maybe you don't have to exercise. It's just watching your calorie intake. If it's the other way around, figure that one out. Just currently I'm not out. Yeah, that's definitely very non-alcoholic. That's very, very, very alcoholic. That's basically, there you go. Try to make, but okay, cool. It depends on what you want to do. For me, non-alcoholic beers are mostly when I need to drive, and I want to still enjoy good flavors.
Oh wow, Deschutes has an Irish stout. Wow,
that's a good thing.
I tried
a while back. Keith had an imperial stout that was non-alcoholic. I remember. I don't think he liked it though. I think we had it.
He didn't. It was like barrel aged, and it was like super expensive too.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, I just think people are figuring the game out. I think it's going to be. I don't think it's ever going to be something where they won't be distinguishable. But I think they're going to get closer and closer and closer.
I haven't had it yet, but there's a Dutch brewery out there right now that did a non-alcoholic or 0.5% or whatever stout that, according to a lot of people, was actually spot on in terms of flavor and really right out there as one of the better stouts they've had. So I'm curious, but it is true because most of the non-alcoholic beers are lagers. I don't know why. Or New England style IPAs. And why? Because with hops, you can really, if you over dry hop any kind of beer, you can really mask a lot of flaws in a beer. And one of the biggest flaws in a lot of non-alcoholic beers is this uncooked grain thing. And if you over hop it, if you really dry hop it to the fucking max, you can hide those flavors and still make it very tasty, but being non-alcoholic. So it's very easy to assume, very easy to realize why most non-alcoholic beers these days are IPAs, New England style IPAs,
I think here at least there's a lot more styles. Like Athletic is pumping out, like they made an Oktoberfest this year, and the Two Roots, they have a milk stout with cacao nibs, coffee, lactose. Like I think style wise, at least in New England, is definitely upping the game. Like Athletic, especially, they have West Coast IPAs, regular IPAs, stout. They do have lagers, right? There's I think they have a red ale. It's crazy. I think every style. I saw someone brew a sour the other day.
Yeah.
Cool, bro. Cool, bro.
Kyle, have you had any non-alcoholic beers you really liked?
The Two Roots Hellas I thought was quite good. I have an IPA from them. I'm going to try in the very near future. I just had it's called Partake out of Canada. I did not think was good.
I've had a Partake. It was a blonde ale. It wasn't that good.
Yeah, I was like, hey, it's 10 calories. That's pretty cool. And it was
10 calories
compared to the other ones. I'm like, yeah, I'll try a 6-pack of this. But like Shaun was saying, we have like a NA beer section at my local beer store, and Untitled Art or whatever their name is, Untitled Art.
Yeah, Untitled Arts. Yeah. I've had a few of
the
beers.
IPA, more stout, maybe a West Coast IPA, a sour with I want to say watermelon. So like just from them alone, tons of options. Brooklyn Brewery had a 12-pack with 4 different kinds. So definitely a lot of selection. But yeah, I want. I think Clayton was saying it right, like 1 beer a day. That's what I do. But if I want a second beer, I kind of like the idea of maybe a decently flavored NA beer. That'd be pretty cool for a second beer.
I would love for that. That's exactly it. That's the thing. So one of the things that I've been noticing during COVID, just as a little bit of a side note, and I'll get to this comment in a bit, Clayton. One of the things that I've been noticing is sitting home a lot more has been awesome because I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest social guy. I hate fucking big parties. I hate big groups of people. It's like, people. But I'm big on flavors. I like stimulation when it comes to flavors. And flavors usually means, fatty, rich food or things like beers, scotch, stuff like that. What has been happening to me is that in the evenings when I get bored and I need the stimulation from flavor, I make coffee because I love coffee. Those are big, bold flavors. And drinking coffee at 9:30 or 10 p.m. is not always the best solution.
No. I couldn't.
So if there's great non-alcoholic beers out there, more and more, that give me the same stimuli, Was it? I think he did it both by himself, and they did it as a tag team last year when they were together. Keith and Matt did this barley wine live stream, but also they hung out and filmed a lot of them. Blah 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 blah. I was part of that live stream. I was basically crazy drunk. Keith was crazy drunk, but they had a non-alcoholic barrel-aged barley wine, I believe. Non-alcoholic, barrel-aged. Now, if that can give me the same flavor profile as a decent barrel-aged barley wine, but like under 100 calories a bottle, I'm stoked. I'm happy. I'll drink 5 of those a week, and that's what I want. So that's what
I was gonna say. I feel like the bigger beers are harder to mask. Like if you're going imperial. Trying to say this is an imperial stout just because all non-alcoholic beers. So unless you're dosing it with like so much lactose where like you're mimicking this big mouthfeel, but you're gonna need a lot of lactose, and that's gonna just
As for this comment, I still need to try the Guinness non-alcoholic. Yeah, I need to find that beer, by the way, that he had. I'm gonna ask Keith later.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I do want to try that. I saw that.
Clayton says he's excited for the Guinness non-alcoholic. I sell that beer and I still haven't tried it because basically I haven't gotten around to it, but I need to pick one up from the store and take it home and try that one because I've been hearing some pretty good stuff about it. Peter Wilson is saying agreed, makes sense. Here's the trouble with live streams and chat. I kind of don't know what he was agreeing with or what made sense.
We were talking about like stouts and non-alcoholic stouts.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Different, kinds of. Yeah.
And Joe is saying, "Cheers, guys! Cheers to you."
Cheers, Joe.
But yeah, Mike, what do you want to add to this party?
Well, one of the things, that I try to harp on is sort of like one of the reasons why I switched jobs was I got tired of telling my wife I had bad days. I was tired of it, just saying my day sucked. It was horrible. It's just, the person that you spend your life with shouldn't get to hear how shitty your life is all the time because they sometimes might think it's somewhat on them. I don't want her to be with someone miserable. It's not a fucking fun way to go. But one of the things that makes me happy is Boba Fett. And Peacemaker, and television.
Okay, so I'm guessing you want to segue into.
That's a good segue. I was like, where's he going with this?
I was ready to have like a really deep conversation about marriage and
I do. Yeah, fuck Boba Fett. We're just going to talk about marriage and. Honestly,
but no,
guys,
Boba Fett.
I would love to do a live stream about I'm going to be brutally honest here. First off, Peter, never say sorry. You don't have to add the part that's not like a necessity, but that's on us that we sometimes lose track of the comments. So it's not on you. Don't say sorry. It's on us. It's all cool, brother.
My camera.
I would love to at some point, and this is not kidding, do a live stream on participation in a healthy relationship.
Interesting.
Coming from one guy who was in a relationship where things really went fucking sour, who had to learn to live with, I made some mistakes, but also had to learn with the fact that the other person was making mistakes. And what Mike just said, making those mistakes your own, because you feel like I'm being the bad person for doing things that is upsetting the other person and realizing maybe that's on the other person. You just said something about bringing something into the relationship that shouldn't upset the other person.
Oh, see, that's not how I looked at it. I looked at it that she was fucking crimping my style by fucking making me feel guilty about it.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that I've been in a relationship with the other person was bringing things in, and I felt shit about it, but she was making me feel bad.
Yeah, no,
because I felt bad, but that's the thing. No, don't have to get into this, but what I'm saying is that would be an awesome live stream, how to maintain a healthy relationship.
Well, when I find someone who's in one, I will invite them.
Oh, there you go. See, that's the fucking thing.
Damn.
But let's go into the Boba Fett situation because that's something we wanted to talk about. There's 2 points I want to point out, and the first one is maybe we should do a round table thing before we start on going into details. Did we enjoy the show? And the second thing that I think is the current Disney / Lucas Arts, whatever you want to say, are they more interested in fan service than proper storytelling? So first off, let's go around the clock. I'll go last. So we'll start with Shaun. We'll go to Kyle. We'll go to Mike, and then I'll answer. Did you enjoy Boba Fett, Shaun?
I did. There's definitely going to be some but for the sake of this, I enjoyed Boba Fett as a whole. Do I think they're doing fan service? No, I think it's the kind of the opposite. They understand what. Okay, what I was going to say. They understand what the fans want. And I guess that's fan service. But they're doing it in a way because they are fans themselves.
Fucking brilliant answer.
But anyways, next.
Yeah.
And then we'll dive in.
Yeah, I mean, did I enjoy? I'm glad I watched. If I could go back in time, and knowing what I know, would I watch it a first time again? Yes. Was it as good as anything else I've been watching lately? No. Everything else I've been watching is also better than Boba Fett. The fan service thing I think is interesting because we didn't get the Boba Fett. Fan service was not done through the character of Boba Fett on the Boba Fett show. They did not give fans what they wanted about Boba Fett at all. They totally took it in a different direction. Were there parts of the show that you could argue were fan service that I would agree with? Certainly. But the main character of all the potential fan service, I can't say was given zero fan service, but it was not more than 50% of it. It was a very small percentage of any fan service for Boba himself. Okay, so that's where I'll stop my answer for now.
Mike?
Overall, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was a waste of my time. I do find it. I don't feel like the writers were that interested in Boba Fett, though. I feel like they had the opportunity to write a show. Oh, we have Boba Fett. Okay, we'll figure this out. I think that almost everyone else in the show had more interesting things to do, including Fennec Shand. I thought had more interesting things to do. I thought it was interesting the direction they took the last 3 episodes, which we'll get into later, because it just seemed like they were just trying to fill up space on a show they weren't that interested in making. Where I think they did a really good job was the world building. I feel like for the first time probably ever, Tatooine seemed like a place you could live. It seemed like a place you could be. It seemed tactile. It seemed like a thing you could touch. It seemed like there were just people had jobs there. It was like a thing where you saw life happening. And I think that in that respect, in that way, it was very successful. But I do think, as far as making a Boba Fett show, probably less successful.
So the way I see it, the Book of Boba Fett was 7 episodes, right?
Yep.
3 of them really stood out. 2 of them were absolutely fucking amazing. 2 of those episodes were amazing. One of those 2 episodes was about Boba Fett. And you all know which episode I mean.
Yeah, of course.
That the Sand People, him living, that was the one quintessential "this is about Boba Fett" episode, and it really did a standout thing with finally diving very deep into, and that's one of the things that I, as a Star Trek fan, always loved about Star Trek. It really dived very deeply into this non-human culture, what makes them so alien. They were so completely unique. The Tusken Raiders, the Sand People, they were always seen as these villains, these bad guys, And at the end of the episode, you're still kind of ambiguous. Are they, villains? Are they bad guys? Not really. They have their own culture, but they're a bit weird. But it makes you think. And it added a lot of depth to the Boba Fett character. Like, he lived a whole new life. It changed him as a person because he wanted to do something different for Tatooine. And that's the only, Sorry.
I feel like it didn't add that much depth to Boba. I think it added more depth to the Tusken Raiders.
I agree.
I feel like you understood there was like a warrior culture. I understood like much more about them than I did Boba Fett. I don't think I
maybe depth is the wrong, maybe motivation because of what he was trying to do. Because one of the biggest gripes that I've been hearing about Boba Fett is people like, why does he suddenly want to change Tatooine? Why is he suddenly so invested in like, get these pikes off my planet, and we need to make this planet so much better? And that came out of a guy that the last time we saw him, he basically got eaten by, Sarlacc. And he was just this mean old bounty hunter that wanted to fuck things up and make money and whatever. And then he came out of it, and then suddenly, from the start of the episode, or where we find him in The Mandalorian, he's suddenly this more of a, I want to change the world into a better place kind of person. And that is the only episode that explained why he wants to be different, why he wants to do things differently. And that's the biggest flaw of the Book of Boba Fett. It doesn't really go too deep into that. It just, suddenly
I felt
makes
like
us want to
the
believe.
flashbacks for too long. Like, I felt like I like the flashbacks in some sense, but like I felt like they did go a little too long. Like, they stretched it out a little too long. Where I was like, okay, I'm over the flashbacks. Like, I think like we get the point. And it was cool to see the Tusken Raiders, but like we were saying, like I think I enjoyed seeing, okay, the Tusken Raiders, I guess they are still kind of villains. Like, they still try to like fucking kill whatever's going through their area and pillage it.
But you see their motivation, and it was in many ways thrust upon them, not a choice to like live that way. Like, I mean, you're adding agency to them. You're lack of a better expression, you're humanizing them, fair enough. And then through that you get, because like going back to the fan service thing, fan service for Boba Fett would be him just being a bounty hunter for 7 episodes. So they're like, all right, so we can kind of like humanize this group while kind of showing him being humanized as well. And then why he wants to make these, choices that will then give us a plot for the show versus every episode is just a bounty of the week or whatever, which I'm sure could have been a really cool show too. But like from a storytelling point of view, and again, I don't think they nailed everything. I'm not making that argument at all. But from a storytelling point of view, him, adding all these layers and that humanity was probably important from a storytelling point of view.
I also think that we got the bounty hunter thing in The Mandalorian. That was
100%.
They would be retreading, and I do think it's that they had to do something with Boba. I mean, just if they're going to use him at all, even in Mandalorian, like prior, they had to go a different direction. He was just too one-dimensional. Boba Fett was never loved because he was a cool character. He was loved because he looked cool. Like,
that's exactly. Boba Fett was never
do shit in the movies.
Boba Fett was never more than basically a glorified prop.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here.
Cool.
He looked cool, and people loved it for it. He looked cool, and he sounded badass. He's nothing worth to me when he's dead. Shit like that. I mean, what the hell? I mean,
we need a timeout. That was a really good impression.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I try. That's what I try to do. But at the end of the day, that's what I'm talking about, fan service. Things like The Mandalorian, things like the latest few seasons of Bad Batch and Clone Wars, they did fan service, but as in we know what the fans want and we're giving it to them. Fan service in Boba Fett was like, what did people love a lot about the last couple of seasons of Star Wars on TV or on streaming or in movies? It was Luke in The Mandalorian. So what are we going to do? Let's focus an episode on Luke. That was as much how cool as it was to see Luke and Ahsoka interact. That entire episode really just felt like, where are we going with this? It had no momentum to it. It was just shot upon shot upon shot upon shot of cool stuff happening.
Well,
that's really.
When I talked to someone about this, I don't know if it was one of you guys where I said it really wasn't like a good episode of television. But man, I'm glad I watched it. Like I wanted to
Agreed.
see what Luke's up to. You know
what's really cool? A lot of people. Oh, I have a thing here. Can I digress just a little bit?
Go for it. It wouldn't be a live stream with us if that didn't happen.
Because I want to hear your guys' opinions on it. Luke is not a hero. And Luke in The Last Jedi makes absolute fucking sense. And this episode...
That's if you take this fucking movie seriously.
No, but this episode worked towards it. Luke... Okay, so here's I. I'm 16 years old, 17... What am I? I'm living on this desert planet. I'm fucking bored. I was raised as like a fucking lunatic by people who are putting me into like this corner, backing me in a corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner, right? And suddenly this old fucking wizard pops up and he's like, you know what? Your father was a hero and he could use magic and you can use it too. And you can be a great dude. And there's this fucking rebellion going on. You can save him. And by the way, here's a weapon. It's a fucking lightsaber. This thing is made of energy and it'll cut through anything. And the best way to use it is by using the magic I just said earlier. And it's going to make you a fucking hero. And this kid is like, holy shit, this is exactly what I want. So he comes along for the ride. Suddenly, this mentor dude that he's looking up to, for no particular reason, dies, right? But starts talking through him, through this mythical force, and he blows up the fucking weapon of mass destruction. Hello, hero to the revolution. Everybody's putting pressure on him because you're the fucking man. We need you to save us. He's put into a responsibility role in this fucking revolution. There's no pressure there. And suddenly, this ghost figure that he looks up to pops up and says, you know what you got to do? You got to take your fucking little spaceship and travel to this planet because somebody can teach you to be even more of a fucking badass. This person is telling him, you have emotions. Shut them the fuck off and do whatever you need to do to save the greater good. But guess what? He has emotions. He has friends that he loves. He wants to save them. He has visions that he wants to save them. So you know what? He goes to do that. Off to that adventure to save the people that he loves, while his teacher tells him, you should not. It shall bring you grave danger. He learns that the biggest villain in the fucking world is his papa. I don't know what to fucking do. What does everybody tell around him? His fucking old teacher and the other fucking old teacher says, you need to kill the fucking dude. You need to kill your daddy. He doesn't kill his daddy, and Jedi, who are as dogmatic and fucking evil as Sith are because they're constantly pushing people into dogmatic extremes, he saves his father by the one thing that the Jedi says do not do. Compassion, love, give into your feelings. And he saves his father, the biggest villain in the world. And what does he do afterwards? And that's the Last Jedi. He goes back to the old dogmas because that's what they taught him. And that's what he gives Grogu. Like, you can have two options, be one or be two. There was an option to do both. But Luke never gave it to him. And then Luke, later on, finds out that his nephew is probably as bad as his father used to be. So what does he do in a fit of, I don't know what to fucking do? Because when I was a small teenager, all the way to me in my 50s, I have been taught that I need to be an extremist, tries to kill his nephew. And he realizes that he fucked up and he flees. And that's Luke in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, but
Luke
like, honestly, man, if my nephew had a haircut like that, I'd kill him too.
True story, but that's not where we're going to. Luke makes sense. And this is them building towards Luke because Luke, as we see him in The Last Jedi, is still thinking in the extremes, the dogmatic negative views, as dogmatic and negative as the Sith views. He's still thinking in that because that's what he was taught. That's where his reasoning is. And only in The Rise of Skywalker, I don't care if you like the movie or not, but in The Rise of Skywalker, that's where he finally realizes I really fucked up.
I feel like Thomas is the person who'll be tweeting that like Batman should be given more money instead of beating up criminals. Like you're placing logic in a children's story. So fucking,
of course,
that's silly.
That's what fans do, and it's all silly. Of course, it's stupid. No, I fucking realize that. I'm with you, but if you look at the story I just told,
yeah, I can't believe you did that for 10 minutes. That was unbelievable.
I think you need to.
I would have lost track.
I'm gonna cut this out, and we need to post this as like it's as Thomas's own little thing on his channel.
This is like Pat Oswalt on Parks and Rec doing his filibuster, where he's just that's.
Yes.
I actually felt this was my Parks and Recreation take on calzone.
Well played. Okay, so to build off of that,
Mm-hmm.
because in all seriousness, one of the things I think that is cool about I guess Mandalorian as well, but the Boba Fett show is actually, I guess I have to include both, is kind of making me care a little bit more about those two trilogies that I didn't care about as much as the original, because they are, but again, like, or is this fan service, like, oh, his ship, oh, that's from Phantom Menace, what? Like, it could be fan service, but like, I didn't want Mando to have that ship. Like, that wasn't like, but is it fan service because it's a reference to something that came anyway? But it's like, oh, that is okay, that's pretty cool. Like, so I guess to get to this point, I guess we don't have to agree, but I'm sure we do agree. Like, the original trilogy is the best of the three trilogies. And then it wasn't until Rogue One where it was like, this is like up there with the original trilogy. And then we get The Mandalorian, and it's like, this is up there with the original trilogy. So through the power of, Mandalorian and then, Boba Fett, to your point, Thomas, well, they are going, like, we are in this time period where Luke does have that journey. It's been established. Like, this is the timeline. So slowly kind of getting me to understand his journey to where we see him where, yeah, arguably he's not a hero or not a hero for a while, inflicting similar bad things that were inflicted upon him. It's like any religion, there's good, and then there are things that have been done in the name of religion that are bad. And obviously the Jedi way is I don't want to say metaphor, but is, a religion of that world.
There's a line from Ahsoka when she looks up at Luke, when he's talking about Grogu and how he should handle the situation and everything, and she just looks at him kind of wistfully and says, so much like your father. And we all know what happened to his father.
Yeah.
And you can take that in so many ways, because people were... Yeah.
Well, but my thing is, like, was she talking more about how Anakin was in the Clone Wars? Like,
but that's the point, because
from, like,
and as Obi-Wan taught us, it all depends on a certain point of view, and we still need to figure out that point of view, don't we?
Yeah, the problem with Luke in Boba Fett, to me, even though, like I said, if I had my way, I'd just have a Luke and fucking Grogu show. I just watch them, like, to bring up a word I use, voyeuristically. I just want to see what happens. I'd watch
right.
That. It doesn't even have to have plot. I just watch them doing shit.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, of course, we all want to see Mando and Grogu together. That's what we want, because that's the fan service thing, and we love it. And it was awesome. It was cute, and it was. I mean, come on, who did not cry when Mando took off his helmet for Grogu? Like, finally you get to see your dad. We all love that.
I mean, I didn't cry about it, but I felt it. Yeah.
Well, whatever you want.
We're pretty hard here in America. We don't really.
I'm a European. I'm much more open in my emotions. I'm not a stunted white male, so there you go.
I'm very stunted.
I've definitely cried during Mandalorian, but I don't know if I cried during that scene specifically.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, fucking hell, it could have been interesting to have them separate. I would have loved to see them. Maybe that's my biggest problem with Boba Fett. Like, half of the show wasn't about Boba Fett, and at the end, it explains why. At the beginning of what's going to be season 3 of The Mandalorian, Grogu and Mando are back together. I would have wanted a season of Grogu being with Luke, learning.
Well,
Mando doing his own thing.
That's what I was going to get at. I don't think it was ever about Luke. I feel like they got Luke, and it was going to be like they were going to take Grogu away from the show. Like they'd written what they had, and it was done. And I feel like there's been probably a lot of pressure on Disney to bring Grogu back. And so Luke was the catalyst for bringing him back. I don't think it was ever about
baby.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever about whether Luke's a hero or not. I don't think that any of these people are thinking that deeply. I think it's like, how do we get Grogu back? Okay, done. You know what I mean? Like the way we as fans look at things, we have to rationalize. We need to make it feel like this is the people we know. We need to feel like these are people whose motivations we understand. But half the time we don't even understand them. We just go back and rationalize. You know, go ahead.
I don't disagree that there was pressure from above, but just to give credit to like Filoni, just him specifically, but like I gotta imagine even if that was like a mandate, he was trying to do it in a very thoughtful way that did provide service to the entirety of the Star Wars, story, not just hey, Grogu's back by the toy, and I know you weren't making that argument that, at least they tried to do it in an organic way that made sense. Luke is establishing a Jedi, academy. This is someone who could be a Jedi. Like it does kind of, make sense that way. But I don't know. I just kind of feel bad, especially for the actor. Like, yeah, man, it's like a Boba Fett show, and the best episode was, not about, you weren't even in it, like. And just to mention the bantha in the room, not the elephant in the room. Clever. But yeah, the best episode.
Wink, nod.
But I don't know. Early on, like each episode, there was like this one thing that took me out of the episode. Like one, I didn't like the effects on the monster. It kind of was like, okay, that broke my suspension of disbelief. The biker gang, it just didn't look Star Wars, the colors, and so I get what they were going for.
It looked a little bit weird.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I get what they were trying to do with it.
So do I.
I just quickly wanted to jump in on this, maybe, by the way, because yes, it was definitely the gravitas non. That was the one I was thinking about. That was the one that I heard. Keaton. Apparently, that one's freaking. May the force be with you, Peter, and thank you for joining. Thank you for being here with us.
Yeah,
and and sorry we didn't get to this, but I do recommend. It depends on where you're from, because in Europe we have something on Disney Plus that is called Star. Star Plus. Do you have that?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, as far as I know, it's not coming to America.
I don't even know what that is.
No. And well, the reason here is you guys apparently have. I'm just changing the exposure lock of my phone a little bit. You guys have something. You guys have like so many streaming options that we don't have. Somewhere here in March, we're getting HBO Plus as a stream, or HBO Max, is it?
Max,
yeah.
They're calling it
We're
Plus
getting
now,
that early. Yeah, now it's going to be called Max. We're getting that early March. You guys have so many streaming services that we don't have, and your catalog on Netflix is so much different than what we have. A lot of stuff is on Disney Star, because in the end, Disney owns rights to a lot of things for Fox and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we have things like the Alien movies and the Predator movies and stuff like that, for example, on Disney Star.
And you access that within the Disney Plus app, right? It's like a separate.
Yeah, we have. All you have to do is make sure you have to access it and access parental control, because they say Disney is mostly kid stuff.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you access it and that you're okay with a lot of adult viewing. Not adult as in pornographic, but as in adult as in. Yeah. It could be erotically themed, but it's very violent. It's horror. We get a lot of TV shows like American Horror Story, for example, through that. We get things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
They put like Titans and stuff on there too, I think, in Europe.
A lot of shit is on there. Things like The Walking Dead and all those things are all on Disney Plus for us. However, that might change in the next couple of years. I'm a little bit worried. Me and one of my best friends we share Amazon Prime. And we bought Justice League, the Snyder Cut, which is arguably one of the best movies of 2021, and one of the best superhero movies ever made. Yeah, I'm throwing that out there. I'm half worried that Amazon might, even though we bought it, we actually paid together 16 euros for it. Amazon Prime might have it deleted because HBO is going to say, yeah, that's great for you guys, but fuck it. In the end, we own international rights.
No.
Yeah, but I think
they
you can't do. They can't do that if you bought it.
I think they won't, but I could be. But you never know how these rights work.
If it was
just
streaming as part of
take it off,
Prime,
and that's
But anyway, so a lot of these, there's a lot of things that are going to go. For example, Batman Begins used to be on Netflix, but Batman Begins has been dropped from Netflix because it's going to be added to the HBO Max catalog.
I don't get these contracts. Like there was times where like it drops for like a week and then it's back on, and then like it's on 2 places at once. Like I think The Dark Knight's on Netflix right now and HBO Max. I've given up trying to understand how these studios handle their illegal contracts and stuff. Like who goes what. But overall, I would highly recommend Disney Plus.
A lot of these contracts apparently were written even like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like so, even things that you see moving around now, like that was something they signed.
Yeah.
Pre-Disney getting Fox, pre-Disney Plus being a thing, just to use that as an example, But yeah, in the States, I mean, if you like Disney, Simpsons, Star Wars, and or Marvel, I mean, I don't know what it's up to for Disney Plus now, but like I got when it first was coming out, that free year, it was $3.99 a month. I mean, I watch way more than $3.99 a month worth of Disney Plus,
Yeah.
I mean,
and
I go back and
No, I was gonna say, and if like originally I was like, okay, I have a kid, this is gonna be perfect, but it also had stuff for me. Like now, even if I didn't have a kid, it's a no brainer. Like it has so much stuff that I watch. Like even the National Geographic channel on there now has so many awesome like nature documentaries and stuff.
Right.
It has so much content. It has so much content. It's ridiculous, and stuff like you wouldn't even think is there. Like it's weird how they bury some of their content. And then, like, when you're looking for something like, oh, that's on Disney Plus, that's weird. And you find, you're like, oh, okay, how do you even get to it from the actual app unless you explicitly search?
It's so fucking weird when sometimes, because I don't get notifications like on Netflix. Netflix is like, this is coming on Netflix soon. And there's an option even in the Netflix app that says in the next couple of weeks, we'll be adding this and this and this. Suddenly, I'll just, I'll have an urge every couple of weeks to just check the action or science fiction movie library on Disney Plus. I'm just gobsmacked by, whoa, when did they add this here? Since when did they just put this movie on here? And I'm just a little bit flabbergasted. But yeah, that's the thing with Disney Plus. And by the way, very quickly, just because somebody just mentioned a thing about Disney and rights and whatever, who has seen the Doctor Strange Madness Multiverse trailer?
The trailer for it?
Yeah. Is or is that not Professor X?
It is. This
so many people
nonsense. People have been doing impressions of me for 50 years.
No, but not even that. Yeah. There's so many people that I've read comments saying like, yeah, but just because it's Patrick Stewart doesn't mean he's actually playing Professor Xavier.
Oh, well, it could be a variant of.
No, but even if they're even saying it's not even a variant. You're just assuming things. This is the multiverse in the MCU. How is Patrick Stewart being in the MCU multiverse not Professor X? Even if it's a variance,
Well, if you want to count the MCU as a thing, which we should do, I'm not. Mahershala Ali played 2 different characters.
Granted, but who knows of his name? Who knows of all of those? I'm talking about Professor X, the X-Men and everything that has been established way before the Marvel Cinematic Universe even started.
Well, if Patrick Stewart's in it, I can see him not being Professor X. But the fact that he's off camera with just his voice, that wasn't an accident.
Yeah. Exactly.
Of course.
It absolutely has to be. It has to be.
Yeah.
It's James McAvoy, but Patrick Stewart dubs his voice in. You heard it here first.
If it is, I'm gonna fucking be so happy.
That just happened. That's what's gonna happen, and
that would be amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
The whole
you heard it here first. Kyle from No Hype. Kyle from No Hype predicted the hype, and if it's true, we will dub him Riot forever.
Ridiculous.
No, but let's go back to the entire Boba Fett thing. Like the final episode. Let's just talk about the final episode for a little bit. I mean,
can we talk about the Rancor? And that's a whole fucking can of worms to open. Like, I've said this a few times.
Well, I mean, it was a fucking nod to the holiday special when at some point during the 3rd episode, I think, when we saw the Rancor for the first time with Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo.
Yes. That's the first and last time. So the last time we saw that freaking Rancor, and it was like, they just like they fucking forgot he was there
Yeah, but the line where he said, "I rode bigger," that was a line towards the holiday special, the cartoon
Oh, right.
in the holiday special.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a line.
See,
towards
that type of stuff
but
is definitely fan service. That's fine.
Exactly,
Like,
that's where I go to.
those
So
cool
at
Easter
that
eggs
moment,
just thrown out.
But
Did
that's
you know-
good. That's good fan service.
Exactly.
No, and that's that's right. 100%. Yeah, 100%. But yeah,
at
I
that
felt
moment,
like
fucking internet blew up. But yeah,
I was just gonna say like that part where like they introduced the Rancor, and I'll admit it, I've said it in chats, I was wrong. I thought the Rancor was gonna be like a fucking Trojan horse. It was meant to fucking kill Boba Fett or whatever.
Yeah,
but they forgot
that
all
was-
about it, and then they
That would make
Go
sense,
ahead.
though, Sean. That would have made sense.
Yeah,
It was
that
very
wasn't just you
clunky
being drunk.
handling of it.
and that's why it leads me to believe that they with the Mando stuff, like I don't believe that was fucking in they were in the writers' room for this fucking show, and they were like, yeah, and in the last 3 episodes, we're gonna make a Mandalorian episodes. It's gonna be great.
yeah.
Something had to happen, and like there was probably Rancor stuff written in, like showing him training and stuff like that, and then they just like bulldozed it all out just to like get all this. And again, I'm fine with it. I thought the last I loved all the Mandalorian stuff, but it's just like.
Dude, it looked fucking awesome, but it was so fucking weird. Suddenly, just seeing seeing Boba riding the goddamn Rancor, like he has been doing so much stuff in between. It's like they completely.
Well, yeah, but was he though?
It,
Like, you
yeah.
didn't see Boba do shit until.
Did the
until
Rancor
end.
run the whole way there? How far is fucking Hutt's palace from the city center? Like,
Right. And then here's the thing. And sorry about this, spoilers alert, but
I think everyone
Boba,
that's watching knows there's spoilers.
right? Fucking Boba and fucking Mando destroy half the fucking city, and
That
the
always
people are
happens.
grateful. The people are like happy.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if Boba had
listen,
They're
really-
alive,
no one's
even though they
gonna
have no
one's
home.
gonna bitch if it's a Disney property. No one's gonna bitch.
True
Don't worry
story,
about
true
that.
story, but it made no fucking sense. And the fucking and here at
No,
the end,
MCU after the destruction, they made a point in whichever Avengers movie, like, yeah, we have to minimize, or Civil War, whatever one it was, like, we have to minimize damage and all that stuff. So in a Disney-owned property, they did acknowledge that, Michael.
Okay.
Can we please dwell in reality while discussing all this fantasy?
I don't want
Please?
to blow
If we-
reality.
if
I
we
mean,
could.
but what the?
I
fuck?
actually thought that they did a pretty good job of making it seem like they were keeping shit under control. It didn't like I didn't feel like I was watching Tatooine get leveled, and I was sort of expecting to see like excessive sort of destruction, but I actually thought that like within reason, it seemed like things were in dire situation. There's a dire predicament, but it seemed like the damage was it didn't seem like they were leveling the city.
Except the Rancor, I mean, was
Yeah.
very destructive. But yes, the other character.
But
I
they
thought was
saw
pretty
they could
much-
have seen Boba riding the fucking thing. They knew it was
The
Boba
Rancor was
on
only
the
destructive
Rancor.
after he got fire in his face, which apparently
Yeah.
his Rancor is like
I
fucking
suppose.
Yeah,
pet peeve.
kryptonite.
Oh,
it's a giant monster. Of course, it destroyed things when it was jumping around. Like I'm not like it didn't take me out of the episode. It didn't
No,
make
no.
me think like,
No.
like I didn't clutch my pearls, but like it did.
Yeah, but
also
girls.
do just
Very
Yeah, but,
quickly,
like-
by the way, before I forget, when by the way, fan service, before I forget, when in episode 5, I think it was, when they were building Mando's new fighter, right? And they were talking about prop shafts or whatever and drive shafts and thing. Did you realize that the thing that Mando was holding was a recreation of the same prop that Han used to that? Fucking hell! Talking about that's fan service. Now that's fucking fan service.
They had the droid from the Jedi Fallen Order video game that's considered canon too. That's
Oh, I haven't played those. Don't play games, so I didn't know that.
Well,
Was
and
that. Okay,
the-
cool.
Star Tours one, right?
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, they had the Star Tours robot too,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
But isn't it a bit weird that the best episode of this show, for me personally anyway, is the episode that completely dealt with Mando,
I don't think it's weird at all.
getting that?
Because of course it is. But it's weird that they did it. It's weird that
Yeah,
that
right.
episode-
Why? It's like they could have built a whole. They could have done a whole season.
Well, I wonder.
with
I wonder if they went to start the show and what's that Kiwi actor's name? Whatever his name is, he must have come in and said, "You guys got me for 4 weeks," and they thought they had.
The guy who plays Boba. Oh god,
I doubt that. What else is he doing?
Well, it does seem weird that all of a sudden, like it's just they didn't. Why did they have to have 3 episodes more or less without him? You know what I mean? The actor who plays Boba.
So his name is Temuera Morrison.
Morrison?
Temuera
Oh,
Morrison.
Temuera Morrison.
Yeah.
What else is
he's
he doing?
So I'm just checking his filmography as an actor. Holy shit! Of course he did. He played Aquaman's dad.
Yeah, of course.
Right, but I don't think he was. Maybe he was.
Oh, apparently he's in the Flash as well. He's playing the
Oh,
same character
he
in the
was
Flash. So
Filming
that's a spoiler.
Aquaman too.
Yeah,
But you would think though, before they start this show, though, that they're like, okay, here's what you need for a schedule. He can't just come on to set and be like, "Oh, sorry, guys, I only have 4 weeks
Right.
now." Like, it's
Right.
got to be something
Yeah.
in the contract.
Well,
But
fact-
COVID happened.
Do you guys know the
Oh.
show Do you guys know the show Frontier, where what's his face, Jason Momoa was a big part of?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, apparently he played in that, and he plays Jason Momoa's dad in.
Oh,
Huh,
I
never
never
knew that.
watched it, but good for him getting the role.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. But all of the stuff I'm looking at on IMDb, I do not know him from anything except for the Star Wars related shit.
And then
From
Aquaman.
Dustin.
That's interesting that
Too, I
that,
know,
that he's in the Flash, though. I had no idea he was in the Flash.
Yeah, he's going to be in the. So that means that for some reason in the new Flash movie, his character, Aquaman's father, is in that movie, and apparently,
It's probably like
I
a
don't know.
Quick cameo, I bet.
Have you
Yeah.
guys seen
Or
follow the show?
what if it's the multiverse and he just plays Boba Fett?
Mm.
It says Tom Curry on IMDb, Mike.
It says Tom Curry on that movie. I
Yeah,
don't
But what
follow
if
the
Tom
show.
IMDb
Curry is
is-
Boba Fett
IMDb
in the
is fan.
multiverse?
It's like Wikipedia. I don't trust
Oh,
anything on
yeah,
that.
fucking
site.
edit. Yeah.
He's Boba
Jesus
Fett. You heard it here
Christ.
first.
He's Boba Fett. Yeah, it's gonna be if Boba Fett is in the Flash, that would be like the Flash appearing on the Flash, and that was fun.
That is very multiverse.
You know what I love about this IMDb page? Like, they don't fuck around either. It says Chapter 5, Return of the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, parentheses, credit only.
Wow.
Right? What the fuck? That was a whole
'Cause he was-
episode.
Because he was in 6, but he only was like in the last half of 6, right? Like, not even not the last
Yeah.
half. He
Not
was
even-
only like
Yeah,
just
the
like
closing
last
seconds.
speak. He didn't even
For
speak.
like the
They
last
just
minute or
showed him
two.
when he walked in. Yeah.
But even like that, like, okay, we got to build, we got to get muscle. Like, they could have done it in a better way that, like, it still felt like it was part of a Boba Fett show while still getting the Mandalorian. Like, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes of Mando on his own before she comes in, or like not like literally a whole episode, and then the last 10 seconds, like, hey, I'm here to bring you to Boba Fett, you know, like.
Well, the thing is, why did Fennec Shand go get him instead of Boba Fett? If they didn't have Morrison, I think it just seems like all of a sudden he just wasn't around. Now I don't think
Dude,
there's
there's
any
a-
plan. I just think that I imagine, and I'm speculating here. I imagine something happened as far as filming because of COVID, and it just crushed schedules in ways.
There's
that
a
they didn't
lot of people saying
intend.
who plays when he takes his helmet off. He's the guy who was also in Game of Thrones. Who plays the Mando
Pedro
again?
Pascal.
Yeah, him. There's a lot of people saying that more than half of the shots filmed with Mando in his armor is not even Pedro.
Which, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I believe that.
It's just like they just hired somebody because Pedro half of the time is just his voiceover. They
I
just need
think
some
he's
shots.
there more than I thought he was. Like when that show first came out, I'm like, he's probably never on set. And
Just the voice.
find out he actually
Yeah.
was more than.
I'll believe him as an actor. I'll believe him from what I've read. I'll believe that as an actor, he is actually credible enough to do the things like I'll be in the costume because I want to be the person playing it. I'll believe that, but I'm just saying that's fan speculation. Like,
Well,
that
he's
was
not one to mince a lot of words. He keeps it pretty honest, and he said he's there.
Yeah.
What benefit would be for him to lie about that?
And there's plenty of behind the scenes footage where it's not the episode where he showed his face and he is there. Yeah.
Can we, by the way, very quickly, when we talk about Star Wars right now, when we talk about Star Wars, can we please acknowledge the fact that if there's one person that needs to take over directing the movies, if they're making new movies, is Bryce Dallas Howard?
She's great.
Yeah, she's good. She's good. But
It'll be interesting to see how she goes. But translating direction of TV and movies are two different things.
And there is, of course, that. But the episodes that she directed have been fucking amazing.
No, I agree.
Is she the one directing all of the Kenobi episodes?
Did
no,
she?
That's
Oh no,
no, really?
No,
I'm gonna Google. I'm still on IMDb
no,
here
it's
on my laptop.
What's her name? Deborah Cho, maybe, or
Deborah Cho? Yeah, because she did a bunch of
my
Mando
bad.
episodes.
Yeah, my
I'm
bad.
picking Bryce Dallas Howard as a director.
well, I mean, the thing is, not to like Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams. They're good enough directors. They just had shit scripts to work with. No offense, people like those dumb fucking movies, but
Well, didn't they write? Were they co-writers on those scripts? So
yeah. No, they were. Shit scripts to work
Are
with.
you guys
Regardless.
fucking aware that as a director, she's scheduled to do the remake of Flight of the Navigator?
Really?
That was a great movie. I love that as a kid.
That
We actually
was
just watched it a couple months ago with Kaylee.
I remember liking that as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Oh my god! If she's doing that, I mean, even I know that Mike and I have opinions on this, but one of the highlights for the Jurassic World series is Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
You have to admit that, dude. You have to admit that she was funny as fuck in those movies.
So Favreau, and again, like as much as I think there were plenty of missteps in Boba Fett, I mean, the Mando stuff gives me so much confidence. I mean, you had 2 awesome seasons of that. I'm not going to have one, lukewarm, Boba Fett series make me think that Filoni and Favreau suck now or whatever. But yeah, to going back, I think Mike made this point. Like, it felt like people who didn't want to make that show or something, because like maybe Robert Rodriguez should have just made the whole freaking thing or something. Like someone who's more passionate about the character or whatever, because how much Mando works for 2 seasons, how much the Mando episode worked in Boba Fett, like.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I'm actually starting to wonder, like, or maybe I'm just smelling my own bullshit here, but I do wonder if essentially that they had to rewrite that show at the last minute. I wonder.
Which one? Boba Fett, you mean?
Boba Fett, yeah, because
Probably.
because it seemed like the original idea that they had for that show, at least the way it was originally sort of like presented, was he was almost going to be like in charge of rival gang factions and try to keep like the peace and keep everything together in Tatooine, and they only hinted at that really briefly. I wonder if it became an issue where they just didn't have him on set anymore. They had very little time to work with him. The show had to go into production, and they just had to get something. I wonder if the whole thing had to get rewritten almost at the last minute.
I know Mandalorian didn't shut down because of COVID, so they could have used whatever was already. It could have been a combination of what you said, Mike, and then
look. I wouldn't be
Mandalorian
surprised
if
if
they had that shot already.
I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the day they really did realize, and this is not one of those fanboy theories. This is just me thinking out loud and being realistic. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the day they realized, how the hell are we going to write a whole season on Boba Fett? How much
7 episodes isn't a whole season.
No, but
a third.
Like they couldn't even write 4. They couldn't even write 5.
Exactly. At the end of the day, if they, I mean, what do you want to tell about this character that hasn't been said in the Clone Wars already? The Clone Wars dealt with a young Boba Fett realizing he's a misguided, grumpy person. That's it. That's fucking it. And he wants to earn money by doing shit. He's like, I want to earn money. That's what my dad did. My dad earned money as a bounty hunter, and I could do that as well. And fucking hell, I don't care. And how are you going to add depth to that? We're going to redeem him. And then they wanted to redeem him, and they realized we just redeemed him because, he grew up with the Sand people. Now what?
Well, I wonder, like, because I feel like we're actually being pretty negative toward the show. We're not talking about all the things we really liked, and like, I
You mean like
think
episodes
that there
5,
was
6, and 7. Yeah, we really like those.
yeah, but the thing is, it wasn't like the other ones were a waste of my time. I enjoyed watching them. Like,
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it.
you know, like
Uh-huh.
but this is this stuff we do. It's not just me. It's not just you. It's just we sort of dwell on things that like, oh, but I really think there's
We like to
certain
take the
things
piss
that
out of things. It's easier
of
to.
course. But how awesome was Ming Na Wen as Fennec Shand?
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's fantastic.
You know,
Yeah.
like and Tamora Morrison did a good job as Boba. It's just that
Yeah.
they just didn't give him anything to do.
I love the cast. I think the cast
Yeah.
is great. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Morrison proved himself as a very capable person when he did Django. Django was awesome. I love Django Fett. I really did.
In those movies, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. And as a clone trooper, he really added depth to the fact that there's more going on under those masks than just nameless troopers. He gave them a face and a voice and emotion. Was it very in depth? Was it very like we care about these people? No, that's what the Clone Wars did. The Clone Wars really. I know Morrison didn't voice the clones in the Clone Wars, right? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did, but I don't know that for a fact. But I feel like I would know if he did.
Oh, here's a fun thing. What if when we were watching Mandalorian and we saw Morrison for the first time, before the Book of Boba Fett was a thing, right? We saw his face. What if at the end of the day, it turned out that it was a misgruntled clone trooper who went rogue? Would that have made for a more interesting show? Not the Book of Boba Fett, but the Book of Clone Trooper, whatever.
I think you'd have people bitching that it wasn't just Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Or it would have been people saying, "Why didn't you make it about Rex?" You know.
Yeah. People are gonna be bitching either way, but yeah. I mean,
This
Look at us.
then
Look at
this
us.
is one,
Yeah.
This is
But-
one of the biggest reasons
I don't disagree, Mike, that we have been talking way more negative and positive. But like we did all, start out really honestly. Like we did like the show, but it was, certainly not as good as other things, even in the recent Star Wars. Again, just you can't not compare it to Mando, and for me, Rogue One.
It sort of feels like we were like, yeah, we liked it, but here's the things we hated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to-
I mean, I think the biggest plus
I
for
think
me,
we do that a lot. Like, even with beer, we do that.
No,
what's his voice? What's his face? Patton, the actor. Patton.
Oswald?
Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt had a cameo thingy on Parks and Recreation, where they were having a town meeting, and he said that this is what, if we ever do a story about Boba Fett, this is how the show should start. And we have a shot where it opens with the twin sons of Tatooine. It pans down, we see the desert, and it's all calm, and it's calm. And then suddenly we see this hand spring out of the desert. We see Boba Fett climbing out of the... That's exactly how the show started. And if there's one thing that I loved about the Book of Boba Fett is that it literally took that description from Parks and Recreations, narrated by Patton Oswalt, as the opening of the show. That is what I love about the Book of Boba Fett.
But think about it. How else could you really tell that? How else would he get out of there? You'd have to have him have his arm come up at some point.
And
right?
that's
He's
the
crawling
beauty
out of
thing
the
about
pit.
fans.
He bores through the center of the planet to the other side.
No,
and
man.
emerges
He's so
feet
awesome.
First.
The best thing would have been where he fucked Scarlet from the inside, and they really realized we love each other. We have a great chemical connection when it comes to sexual interests. And is there anything
How do
more
I
that we
end the
love about each other?
broadcast?
Yeah.
Or-
we connect as people, and they loved. And he started this show where it was a love
Tickling the
interest
Sarlacc,
between.
and then like as he's
Yeah,
tickling it, I'm sorry, keep
Thomas,
talking
at
about
least?
Thomas. As he's tickling it, it's like the Sarlacc's about to burst, and that's when it shoots Boba out.
Kyle, how do we leave?
He
How do we
escaped
leave?
through
I'm trying to
Sarlacc
figure this
orgasm.
out. Yeah, I got those errands to run I was talking about before.
I just drank fucking like 50 centiliters of Bourbon County. Of course, I'm entitled
Oh,
to.
that's
it.
it.
That's not a way
Mike
to
and I
end the
are
stream. I don't
drinking
know what it
alcohol
is.
right now.
I only had one Vetus.
You had a.
I've only
this-
had
you
It's
had
normal
a,
in my brain.
I hate the fact that I never asked you what you were drinking, and now you tell me that you're drinking a Vetus, and I fucking love you for it.
Kyle and I are
Low key
drinking caffeine.
Yeah, what are you drinking? I keep sipping. I wanted to ask what beer are you drinking, but you're drinking it from the can, so it would
Consume caffeine like a normal person and drink coffee.
Yeah.
should
And it
we?
had, like,
Should
corn
we?
and stuff too, probably in it, right? Those monsters probably it's not even just caffeine; it's like other stimulus, right?
Oh,
Yeah, but I can't read these. There's too many letters, too many syllables.
I'm sure that's so healthy.
Natural occurring.
This is coming from a guy who
monovirus,
likes drinking cat shit coffee. To be fair, so
Cat shit
But
coffee.
it doesn't have
There
like
you go.
dextrin and
But I love
yellow
cat
number
shit
4.
coffee.
I love
there's
that. What is it? The
there's no dextrin
civet
in this
animal,
one.
right? That one, man. That coffee and a stout. That civet
Yes.
eats the coffee beans, craps them
Yep.
out, and they clean out the crap. And who is that? McKellar did that, right? The beer.
McKellar's Sunday morning brunch or Sunday brunch breakfast brunch something. Yeah,
Weasel. It doesn't even have Weasel in the name though.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Holy shit! Now I'm just thinking about I Am Weasel and IR Baboon.
give me a second to read these ingredients because it's
Oh,
funny.
good.
Carbonated water, citric acid,
Oh, that's not bad.
erythritol, taurine,
It's healthy.
sodium citrate, Panax ginseng flavor, L-carotene, L-tartrate, caffeine, sorbic acid, sucralose, beta carotene. What is this bullshit? I'm pretty sure this is just the worst ever. Besides coffee.
And you're drinking it because
You should have taken a sip the second you said, I'm pretty sure this is the worst ever, but it tastes so good.
It's empty. I couldn't.
oh wow.
In and out, Bruno. Years ago, way before the channel, this would have been at least a decade, actually more than a decade ago.
That's
sure.
it. Kopi Luwak. Kopi Luwak is the shitted coffee.
Is that the name of the coffee?
Yeah, that's the shit coffee. That literally like it's the coffee they shit out. The lemurs.
I haven't had the coffee on its own. I've only had it in the beer. But we did this blind test that someone set up for us. Their regular.
I'm sorry, fucking Kyle. If you ever wanted to prove that you're a fucking hipster, it's like I didn't even drink coffee, but I had the beer with coffee in it. Like really?
Because the coffee beans are
All right,
so.
let me order some
fucking-
right now.
I know what I mean. That sounds so fucking hipster. Like I didn't even have the coffee, but I'll have the beer.
You know, you can get this at
coffee.
Walmart. So I'm not. Yeah, I think. Actually, Shaun, you're right, man. This is wicked expensive.
The shit is expensive.
Yeah,
The
it's
coffee,
ridiculous.
the shit coffee is expensive. You have to realize there's people looking after these fucking sort of like monkey-like creatures, and as soon as they poop, they take the poop away and they shift it for coffee beans. I mean, this is not something that's cheap, people. You have to hire people to.
Well, I
hunt
understand
shit.
why it's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But go
'Cause
ahead, Kyle. You
there's-
did a blind taste
you know-
with the weasel poop and then the regular one? Because the regular one's just like their breakfast or whatever.
Yeah. Well, anyway, blind, all of us did prefer that one better, actually, the one that did pass through an animal and then defecated it out. But like again, like it was blind. We had no idea which one was which. And unanimously, everyone was like, this one's better.
Sorry, often as beer drinkers, we like to think that we're pretentious, but honestly, when there's a group of people out there who can say, yeah, I can taste the difference between a coffee that has or has not passed through an animal's intestine tract. I mean,
not only did it taste different, it was, and I mean, and it wasn't like it was the same exact batch of beer, you know, I mean, to be fair, but it was the same beer from the same company, just using two different kinds of coffee. So yeah, it wasn't brewed at the same time in the same tank, and then the two different coffees were added. So some of the brewing process, fair enough, could have made flavors different, but it did taste. This is just. I know Thomas is judging me right now.
No, Clayton is judging you. Clayton is judging you.
Yeah. It was so good. It was so good.
There are African prairie
I-
dogs. They eat the
I've had the
cherries.
cognac barrel aged version of it too. That was really
Oh
nice.
Jesus!
Feeling like a
Oh,
tiny,
that's
tiny bottle.
pretentious. That's fucking pretentious when you're talking about a beer and you're like, no, I didn't have it. Or like you're talking about a specific beer that has a specific animal pooped out coffee bean in it, and then you can say, but I didn't have the regular version, but I had the barrel aged version. That's when you're fucking oddly specific.
Well, that's
Yep.
what
This
my
is
friends
beautiful.
we would just call it the weasel shit beer. Like, oh yeah, you see Wegmans got more of that weasel shit beer in. We should buy
man.
some. Like that's what I mean. We thought it was a weasel because of the name.
Did
that
you guys
Helen
realize
put on
Mike
it.
just jumped off?
I think I was talking to someone off camera.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure before he comes back. But somebody mentioned a little bit earlier about, that's a great way to end it. We have been going on for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I really do have to get going.
I know
I'm
you
gonna
have
get
stuff to
going
do.
too soon.
And I wanted to, well, actually, I'm not going to make dinner. I'm going to preheat leftover Chinese takeout.
It's still
No,
dinner.
it's not
You're
nice.
still making
It's
it.
not. No, it was awesome last night, and then 2 hours later, my stomach hurted, and I wanted to barf, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I'm going to eat it again. Not the barf and the bathroom. Wait, that came out wrong.
If it
But
made
I've
you
left-
ill, throw it away.
Yeah, that seems weird.
No, but this is a scientific experiment. If it makes me ill again, it was a bad batch. If it was okay, it was just me yesterday.
And Bad Batch is a Star Wars
I
property.
was thinking the same thing.
Right. I was trying to do the segue there and see who picked it up, and everybody did. There you go. By
Speaking
the
of
way,
segue, I'm going to write a segue to the grocery store right now and do my grocery shopping.
go do your shopping. Very quickly, by the way, very quickly. But this can just be a yes or no.
Speaking of
Bad
quickly,
Batch
I'm going to
season
go to a
one.
Quickie Mart to do my grocery shopping.
Go do a quickie. Whoa. But Bad Batch season 1. Did you guys like it or not?
Didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it.
Didn't watch it.
I think, and Kyle's been trying to watch it too. Clone Wars. We've both been trying to catch up for the last 4 years.
Trying to. It doesn't hook me in as much as I would think.
Everybody, I'm
me
ending
either.
this stream right now because the bullshit people are bullshit and they're fucking full of bullshit.
Love everyone.
Bye. I was talking about the hype I'm giving to the beer mentioned in comments before that.
Go watch Boba Fett.
Cook it in the oven, not the microwave. Over 200 gigs should kill any bad bacteria.
Obi-Wan in May. That's what I can't
That
wait
was
for.
great.
Obi-Wan will be fucking great.
Obi-Wan.
I hope.
Obi-Wan.
I'm really
Everybody,
stoked for
love
that.
you guys. We're going to be back probably next week unless something happens. But Mike and I will be back without these two assholes distracting us with Star Wars shit. We're just going to talk about mental health and shit.
Unless you catch up with Peacemaker, then we'll be here next week.
I still haven't. I can't.
You can't get Peacemaker right until HBO Max.
Wait. You're not allowed to leave. What the fuck is this? I'm telling you,
Sean
you can't
said-
leave until I'm
or
telling you to
said
leave.
without Shaun and Kyle, so I thought it'd be good for us to leave, and then people could
You
get
don't get
preview.
to leave until I say it's okay. Did you get that?
But wait,
Right.
so wait, you don't even have Peacemaker in the Netherlands yet?
He doesn't have the HBO Max. Maybe that's why. Hey,
I have to pay. Somebody told me, Mercy Beers, by the way, here in the chat. He said, if you want to watch Peacemaker, go watch the Suicide Squad, so the sequel first.
Play with Mike's
And
nipple.
I haven't had a chance to.
Oh. So what's Suicide? So
I-
what's Peacemaker streaming on in the Netherlands then? I'm just curious
Nowhere.
at this point.
No,
Oh, so it'll probably come in next month with
Star
HBO
Trek.
Max then.
probably. I would definitely do a Star Trek. Mercy Beers and I are doing Star Trek streams. So if anybody at some point wants to join, awesome. But we're doing Star Trek streams. I do have the first episode. I know I do, but I still have because you want me to watch the movie first.
Oh.
I haven't seen the movie yet. That's the
You
thing.
have to watch the movie
Everybody-
first.
Exactly, and I haven't seen.
Yeah, I'd
Then
watch it first.
while-
yeah.
While you're eating your Chinese food, that's going to make you sick again. Watch Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
Yes.
I need to watch. Okay, so how about I'm going to give a big old fuck you to the other three guys in the stream. A big old love you and
Love you.
love you.
Kyle,
And
this guy's fucked. We need to get the fuck out of here.
It's crazy. It's so.
This is nuts.
okay, so anyway, let's do this the proper way, and let's
I
have the
love
two
all of
sane people in
you.
the stream. I love you guys. This was a great
You guys
stream.
can't leave.
And I just want to say, without the added strain of whatever, would love to do more nerdy Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever kind of nerdy shit stream with you guys. Talk about movies. I know that we've been talking about the Ghostbuster movies, including the latest one that I still haven't been able to see. Would really like to do that.
Yeah.
So let's just
I would love that.
plan more. Let's go for it. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Everybody, have a great Sunday. Have a great day. Mike needs to leave. Shaun needs to leave. Kyle needs to leave. Love all of you guys, and we'll see each other in the live stream fucking soon. Cheers, guys.